Dear Minister, Ambassador, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, for me it's a pleasure because I think it's the fifth Nicolae Titulescu course that I'm part of, and the first one was in 2005 or 2006. I have the pleasure to be the first to take the floor, but only for a very short introduction, because I know that you are willing to listen the message that Minister Corlețean will try to give you for the week to come. I'm Dan Petre, Secretary of State for Global Affairs in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Romania, and I'm welcoming you at the 19th edition of Nicolae Titulescu International Courses for Young Diplomats. In the same time, I want to give a special welcome to those of you that are for the first time in Romania and your first time as experience in Nicolae Titulescu courses. I think the Nicolae Titulescu courses are a special and unique blend of intellectual challenge, geographical beauty, and networking for young diplomats. The tradition of those courses has its origins 25 years ago, soon after the Romanian Revolution, and was intended as an opening of the Romanian diplomacy towards the world. After the success of that first edition, the courses became bigger, and I'm sure that of better. Until now, more than 500 young diplomats attended Nicolae Titulescu courses, mainly from abroad. Also, I'm very pleased that you will have here lots of lecturers from abroad, not only from Romania. After a 4 years break, we're happy to resume this initiative, which aims to contribute to the professional development of the participants, young diplomats from Romania and from all over the world, to offer a framework for exchanging experience and ideas. We're thrilled to welcome at this edition speakers that are well-known personalities in their fields of activity, diplomacy, foreign affairs, economy, and so on. I'm sure that you will enjoy the lectures, and at the end of this week you will feel enriched both mentally and personally. As you already know, the courses are lasting for a week up till the 18th of November. During the next 7 days, you will be able to attend lectures and participate at debates on some of the main issues of the international agenda. But you are also be able to contact, to create network, to make new friends. And last but not least, you will be able to see some of our picturesque Romanian landscape, which can be easily found in the region and in this very place. Minister Corlețean, I invite you to officially open the 19th edition of Nicolae Titulescu International Courses for Young Diplomats. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
State Secretary, General Director of the Romanian Diplomatic Institute, distinguished ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a privilege, and I'm very happy to welcome you at this year's edition of Nicolae Titulescu's International Courses for Young Diplomats. It's already a strong tradition, as I mentioned you previously during the religious service, and this year's edition, after it's through a certain period of break, it's relaunching of our tradition. I welcome you mostly the presence from different countries, from 4 continents. Dealing with these topics that you will have on the agenda, I want to underline the fact that this year's edition, it's something that is happening in the same year when we are celebrating 150 years of modern Romanian diplomacy. I'm referring to the building of the first institution of the new modern Romania at that time, the first department for foreign affairs. This was the name of the Foreign Affairs Ministry at that time, after the building of the new Romanian, modern Romania. So this is a special year for the Romanian diplomacy, and our edition of the courses this year is reflecting this special anniversary also for us. At a moment when we celebrate 130 years since the birth of Romania's most prominent diplomat, Nicolae Titulescu, I would like to evoke the admirable way in which he dedicated his life to safeguarding the peace and to encouraging the cooperation and solidarity on the European continent. The same values, and I underlined this during my first speech in front of you, the same values represent today the foundation of the European project and stand at the same core of the model that the European Union is showcasing of the world. Romania, as a member of the EU, is actively contributing to this common endeavor. Moreover, Romania brings an added value, having a specific tradition in building bilateral and multilateral alliances and partnerships. Over the years, this approach was instrumental in the development of international organizations with an overarching span of regional cooperation networks capable of serving as essential pillars of stability in an ever-fluid environment. But geography is still relevant to security and prosperity, and the recognition as responsible members of the international community sought by various states at regional level is still elusive sometimes, as tragically reminded by the evolutions in Syria. Romania has constantly stated that it is imperative for the international community to get involved in the ending of violence in Syria. We firmly support, in this context, and it's a constant position of Romania and of the European Union, as you might know, we support the mission of Lakhdar Brahimi in his double capacity of special representative, the United Nations and the Arab League of the League of Arab States. And in this context, I want to underline that I strongly believe that the only future for Syria must be an inclusive one for all Syrians, irrespective of their religion or ethnicity. At this specific moment, the economic and financial crisis confronting the European Union stands close to our interests. It has brought innumerable difficulties, and portraying it as anything but a tragedy would be insensitive. However, while dealing with the day-to-day consequences of the crisis, we should master the power and the will necessary to strengthen the European construction, prepare new common projects for the future, and adapt to the new opportunities. Solidarity should not be a victim of the crisis, and this is one of the important topics that we have on our table within the European Union. Paraphrasing President Obama's speech on the election night, we are a European family, and we rise or fall together. The road ahead is still a difficult one and entails balancing growth-oriented measures with an increased fiscal and budgetary responsibility. The consolidation of the economic and monetary union is a must, while maintaining the overall cohesion. The strengthening of the international market will contribute to a greater competitiveness on the global market. The democratic legitimacy of the European institutions should also be increased. At the same time, the European Union has to ensure that it can mobilize the necessary instruments and resources in order to confront the numerous challenges and crises in the world. Indeed, the strength of the European Union resides in the diversity of experiences of its member states and in the range of tools at its disposal that can be put together in the services of its external action. The European Union has a primary responsibility for the stability and prosperity of its neighborhood. Romania is a staunch supporter of the democratization and development of the countries at EU's eastern and southern borders, sharing with them relevant information from its experience garnered during its own transition towards democracy after the 1989 Romanian Revolution. We consider that the transformation process in North Africa and Middle East should aim towards building true democratic societies, supportive of regional stability, respecting the dignity of all its members, respecting human rights and the rule of law. Such societies are natural partners of the EU and will only benefit from increased relations in the economic, social and political field. Romania is particularly attached to the idea of increasing the trade, investments and visa liberalization measures aimed at the countries in the eastern neighborhood while supporting the adjustment to the European values and standards. We support the European integration of the Republic of Moldova, with which we share a common culture, language and history. The other countries in the eastern neighborhood should be encouraged to follow the European path and continuing the reforms, and from this point of view there is a full support from Romania in this direction. An example of a fruitful regional initiative promoted by Romania is the EU strategy for the Danube region. It was an initiative co-shared with Austria that was approved during the Hungarian presidency of the European Union, and hopefully there will be a decision for introducing a special instrument in the next financial perspective of the European Union for assuring the budget for the support of these projects. We are currently focusing on the implementation of strategic projects with substantial regional impact. Romania is also encouraging a stronger involvement of the EU in the cooperation in the Black Sea region, for which a comprehensive and integrated approach is required. It is worth mentioning that there are numerous environmental, security, energy challenges that originate in this region, as well as risks posed by the illicit human and drug trafficking. Addressing these common challenges should represent an opportunity for strengthening the cooperation among the multiple regional stakeholders. The European Union and Romania attach great importance to the diversification of the sources and routes of energy supply towards Europe in order to consolidate our energy security. One of the leading principles that guided our demarches in this regard is the indivisibility of security. Romania is also actively involved in the development of the common security and defense policy, both in what concerns the capability building and the operational side, being a constant contributor to the security of Europe and of our partners. We have had a substantial presence in the EU missions and operations in the Western Balkans, Black Sea region, Middle East and Africa. We are proud to mention that they were involved recently in the fight against piracy on the coast of Somalia and beyond. Romania strongly supports also the building of the European Diplomatic Service, the European External Action Service, where we send some of the best Romanian diplomats. We are convinced that this external service of the European Union will give shape and substance to a stronger and more coherent European foreign policy. A common European voice, a common voice of the European Union, particularly in this complex and even complicated international framework, will foster our contribution, of the European Union contribution, in important political processes like Middle East peace process. I hope that you will strongly benefit from the rich agenda and remarkable speakers proposed by this year's edition of Nicolae Titulescu's courses. Please allow me to conclude by once again thanking our partners who helped in organizing this public diplomacy event, the Romanian Diplomatic Institute, represented here by its General Director Vlad Nistor, the National Public Servants Union, and the Codex Business School. I wish you a fruitful stay in Brasov, and I hope that you will enjoy the courses. Thank you very much for your interest. Thank you.